Hi, I'm Matt Nyer, Senior Applications Engineer for Makino, and I'm here with today's tech tip, which is Composite Tool. So what is it? Well, for those of you wondering how to manage multiple offsets from our tool data management, this is what we're going to talk about today. That is Composite Tool. So in order to use Composite Tool, there's a couple things we need to do. We need to have it active first off. So in order to see if we have Composite Tool active, which it should have been done from install, but just in case it's not, it is this parameter, 12008. We do a search right there, Composite Tool existence. It is good. So as long as we see a 1 here, we know Composite Tool is turned on. We can then go to our tool data page. There's a couple columns here that may not be visible or may be visible, and you can reorder them and so on. But the way we modify the tool data information is we do a long press on the screen setting, and we're going to come down and we're going to look for these couple columns that are associated with Composite Tool, which is number of edges, cutter rel, and then cutter number. So we make them, they turn them on, we put them in position with the up and down. It gives us these 3 columns. So for this example, we're going to use tool 119. We're going to set the number of edges to 2. We're going to do an input. You'll see this little plus sign open up. We hit this plus. Now we have 2 edges for this tool. Okay. One thing to keep in mind, the H geometry does not automatically transfer. It will come in as a 0 for a new tool. So we need to Control C, Control V as in copy, paste, and input if those numbers are going to match. And then this is now we have 2 edges set up here. So we're going to set a dummy value here for a D geometry of 3 micron. Okay. So what happens is if we tool change this into the work area, so we do a T119M6. Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's a transfer of work offsets that happens. Okay. So I'm going to go to the FANUC side of the control here, the CNC screen. We're going to go offset setting. And if I want to check what offset's over, I look. We do an H1D1 here, which is we always use H1 offsets and D1 offsets, which is this first row. Okay. Now, if I want to activate the second offset, the first offset is always active on a tool change by default. I will do an M451, an S, and then the cutter number. We have 2 of them on this tool, so it has to be a 1 or a 2. I'm going to make it a 2. And if we execute this, and we go back to our FANUC side of the screen, you're going to notice there's that 3 micron change. Okay? So we can switch in between. There's nothing special that has to happen. You can do one cutting path with the original cutter, the cutter number 1. At any point, we can do an M451 with an S value to move to a different cutter number, giving us different values. One benefit of this as well is if you're using spindle load monitoring, it will actually allow you to use different spindle load upper values as well or lower for the different cutting edges, which could be helpful. One caveat is if you are using something besides what we consider type M offsets, if you have a tool data and tool offset page here, that is a different type of offset. Some added codes may need to be added in order to make this transfer happen, which would be your H1D1 M56. That was our tech tip today. That was Composite Tool for using multiple offsets on tools.